The Scituate Beach Commission is committed to providing an environment of respect during meetings. We ask all members to interact in a polite manner, even when there's disagreement. We value the participation of our community and want all participants, including marginalized and minoritized communities, to feel welcomed and respected. We ask our committee members and all who participate to commit to these standards to support and respect our community. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Do I have a motion to accept the agenda?
Motion to accept.
Moved by Ms. Ramsey, second by Ms. Dahlstrom. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. We've got to do a roll call. I'm sorry. I forgot. Ms. Dahlstrom,
Here. Yes.
Ms. Ramsey,
Yes.
Ms. Bauer. Yes, all in favor. So the motion carries 3-0. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes from the October meeting?
Motion to accept minutes.
I
So
second.
Ms. Dahlstrom and second by Ms. Ramsey. And I will do a roll call vote. Ms. Dahlstrom,
Yes.
Ms. Ramsey,
Yes.
Ms. Bauer, yes, all in favor. Motion carries 3-0. So I'm delighted that Ms. Corey Miles is here tonight to give us our coastal management update.
Okay, I don't have too much to report on the North Scituate Beach Nourishment Project. We plan to release the RFP for engineering services for that next week. And we're hoping for construction in fall of 2023. The Oceanside Drive Turner Road seawall project. We were planning to have a public meeting for that last week. Unfortunately, we had to cancel at the very last meeting at the last minute because our engineer had COVID, and then also the DPW director had a last minute conflict, so he couldn't make it. So between those two people, we weren't able to have enough people there to really talk about the project details. So we rescheduled that meeting for November 15th. And that will be held at the Public Safety Complex at 800 CJC Highway. The Peggotty Beach dune grass planting, I think that's the next item on the agenda, so I won't skip ahead for that. The Scituate Harbor Community Building Project, AKA Pier 44. We have had one meeting with the design consultant and plan to have another meeting the week after Thanksgiving. The engineers were out there on Friday to do the site survey, and the plan is to turn that whole parcel into, transform it into a public park for passive recreation. And there might be some sort of restroom / bathroom space there, as well as a small pier that extends out. But all of that is yet to be designed and is only in a conceptual phase. So our plan for that is to have 3 concepts to choose from, that we can work. We'll probably have a presentation to the Beach Commission sometime in January or February to get feedback on the conceptual designs. And then ultimately we'll be able to narrow it down to one preferred design that we will further refine and bring that to the town meeting in the spring.
Corey, does the community center building stay, or is it like?
Oh, no, nope, that will be demolished.
Okay,
And
so that whole parcel will be revamped into the park.
yes, and
Okay.
yeah, so the existing programming there will be moved to other facilities. I think it might be some yoga classes that are still being held there, but there are other spaces that those can move to. The building is in disrepair and is in a flood zone and is not compliant with NFIP requirements, so it's gonna get torn down. And the Cole Parkway redevelopment committee, I think the roster has just been finalized at last night's select board meeting, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to find out from Lorraine this week. And we'll probably convene the first meeting of that group sometime in December, hopefully by, before the end of the year, we'll convene that group. And the ultimate mission of that group is to kind of figure out what to do with the parking lot and how to ameliorate some of the flooding issues that occur there on a regular basis, and still accommodate parking and recreation space.
Corey, I wanted to mention that they did finish filling the Cole Parkway committee last night.
Oh, they did? Okay, good.
I was thrilled they appointed a female, because when I saw the list of who was involved already, it's you and a bunch of guys. And I said, wait, we need more female representation here.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know it. So that's good. I didn't see who ultimately was on the list. So
I wish I knew her name. I can't remember it, but it was the female of the three choices for the resident member.
so it was the harbor resident slot. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just tell Lorraine whenever it's done, just let me know. And I think Karen Connolly is the select board liaison for that group as well. So we'll be hopefully convening that soon. Am I missing anything?
I wanted to say also, Sean McCarthy gave an update. The contractor's finalizing the repairs on the stairs at Minot.
Okay.
The steps are completed and the equipment's been removed from the site mostly. They'll perform a final inspection, generate a punch list for any items that need to be addressed. So it sounds like that's going to be wrapping up soon. He didn't give a timeline, but.
Okay, great. Yeah, I have not been out there in the last 2 weeks to really see how that progressed, but hopefully it looks good enough. Hopefully they're happy with the way it turned out.
Hopefully everyone is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of passion about this project being completed.
Sure,
I haven't personally seen it, but
was.
my husband said it's a big improvement because he went down there with our dog this week. I think this week's like the first week you could really access the stairs. They've had them pretty caution taped off.
Well, that's all great, Corey. Thanks for your hard work. It's amazing you juggle all these projects so successfully, but you sure do. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And the beach grass planting, is that the next item?
So I think everybody knows it was a massive success. I hope everybody had a chance to see the video created by Scituate Community TV, because that really captures the feeling of the day. I'm so happy you were all there. I thank you so much for everything you contributed to make it happen. As you know, about 80 people showed up, all ages, absolutely all ages, from infants to older folks, and everybody planted grass. Everybody seemed to enjoy planting grass. We did it in 2 hours, not 3. 10,000 plants in 2 hours. On Monday, I thought there was no chance of even completing it. So I'm thrilled, and thank you all for everything you did to make it happen. Impressions, thoughts? I'm sure everybody would like to say something. It was a really fun day as well as productive.
I'd like your highlight of the ages. I mean, I had my 2-year-old there all the way up, right, to like individuals I was helping get up the sand to, right? Like it really was an all ages event. And everyone was like cheery and happy. The weather was perfect. Couldn't have asked. I mean, it's warm, but it was very comfortable. It was nice turnout. It's happy to see.
Andrea, what did you think?
Oh, same. I thought it was great. My kids had a blast. I don't think they stepped on anything. The few that they planted upside down, I think we found and turned back. So yeah, that's what you have when you have 2 and 4 leading the charge. It was great. I'm really glad. I thought partnering with Brian did a really nice job at the beginning, kind of
Yeah.
giving a little educational piece. I thought he did a really nice job. And Kelly, thank you so much for making refreshments. That was a really nice touch as well.
Oh, and to Kate also, she kicked in on that. Brian's such a gentle educator. He's
So
absolutely
passionate.
perfect in his role. He has such enthusiasm, and at the same time is just so gentle and involving naturally. Like,
Yeah, his
I don't know
energy
how it could've
was
gone better.
infectious
I was
for
so
sure.
happy with it, really.
I know that I think Teresa Delahunt was taking pictures from the NSRWA, so I'm not sure if you've seen any of those yet.
I haven't. No,
Okay.
no. Hopefully they'll be posting a follow-up sort of thing. I'm not sure. Using it to promote the next one, maybe.
Mhm.
She's super nice too. Teresa, that is. They all are there. It's a great
Yeah,
organization.
yeah, good group.
So much enthusiasm for our environment and protecting it. Corey, what did you think?
Oh, I was really pleased with the turnout, and, you know, everybody really showed up and was ready to plant with their shovels, and it was so cool to see, you know, families out there and, you know, just enjoying the day and doing the beach grass planting was, I was surprised we planted it all. It was like 10,000 plants
I
in
know.
an hour and a half. It was fantastic.
My daughter found one on the way out and was like, I need to plant it. I was like, go ahead. So she like found a edge on the fencing and planted the one she found in the parking lot. She's like, good job, good girl.
Right, that's it.
Yeah.
It's naturally building awareness and investment.
That's
and
right.
Meaning it. It's beautiful, truly. I loved it. It was such a great experience.
And we'll be able to, you know, monitor that over time as well. And, you know, I'm sure there'll be blowouts with storms and overwash and, but overall, I think that keeping that dune vegetated will go a long way, and just to keep that dune in place, and preventing, you know, additional erosion from occurring into the parking lot and overwash into the marsh.
Yep. And here's some good news regarding maintaining that work and the dune. It's too bad that we finished early because Karen Canfield stopped by at 11:30. She had been on
Wow.
another conservation matter earlier. She was absolutely thrilled. And she suggested that, as I feel, this should be an annual event and that they should put aside $3,000 to $5,000 of the Beach Sticker Revolving Fund for us to do this regularly. So that's some good news. She's going to fight for that for us.
Great.
So, you know, I would want it to be flexible because we'll run out of space to plant it at Peggotty after some time of doing this, right? Hopefully it'll all take and grow. And so
Well,
I
could
think
it just
there's
be
opportunity.
beach grass? Do you think that it could be, if she is able to get the funding, do you think it'd be possible just to make it
I'm gonna
erosion?
want it native plants, really.
Yeah,
There's
native
no reason.
plantings or
There'll
like
be a long,
abatement.
extensive.
I don't know what the
plan,
right
you know.
term would be. Yeah,
No, no.
abatement or something.
No, we wouldn't just, you know, we'll talk about it. We'll make a plan, we'll talk about it. We'll say, here's what we think would be good since you're thinking in this vein and blah, blah. But yes, all native plants, not just beach grass, but keeping in mind the dune protection and resilience and continuing to manage it, maintain it. I think there's opportunities to do it other places too. Kate and I were at Hummer Rock on Friday, and if a little piece of land there behind the basketball court is our public land, that would be a good place for some. I think museum would be a good place for some, but I do not want to interfere with Corey's longer term vision for that property. So that's uncertain, but could be a nice thing to do. I think that Minot might be able to use some help with flood control and erosion. And I'm not sure if plants is the answer, but when I went over there yesterday, the day before, the back edge of the first parking lot was completely submerged in water. So that was very discomforting.
That's almost, honestly, anytime there's a really high tide, that's kind of the case.
Yeah.
It's submerged on a pretty, when the tides are high, you have the full moon, all of that, right?
Mhm.
Which we just had that very full blood red lunar eclipse. That's not uncommon for the first parking lot to have.
That's how
some-
it looked, absolutely, like it's a common concern, and so I think that needs some attention, and I'm not sure plants is the answer, but I think there are other areas we could find if we ran out of space at Peggotty. So,
I'm sure I could find plenty of spaces and suggest alternative locations.
and I can't wait to talk with you about it more.
Okay.
So, anything else for that right now? Again, a huge thanks to all of you for your investment in the project. That's what made it successful, and I so appreciate it. Thank you. And if Seth's listening, I'm including you, sir.
Mhm.
Great promotion and great follow-up, and really captured the spirit of the day. I hardly saw all the people there because I was so diligently planting. First, I was, manning the gate to direct people upwards, and then I thought, wait, I can be behind that fence and still greet people, and started planting and hardly looked up. So it was so great to be able to see everybody and what they were doing in that video. Sam did a great job capturing it, and the video editor splicing it.
Is it posted somewhere? I haven't seen the video. I've only seen the
Same.
Instagrams.
I'm sorry, I should have sent the link.
Oh, that's okay.
It's
No.
on the Scituate Community TV Facebook page.
Okay.
And also the town of Scituate posted it to their page kindly. So
So it's all via Facebook. I'm not great at Facebook.
Me neither.
Or
I'm not
I try
sure.
not to check Facebook often, let's put it that way.
me too, I kind of hate it myself. I prefer Instagram, but there are some town resources there like those. So yeah, if you just search for town of Scituate, it'll be the first one. It's got like 5,000 followers, I think. And then
Okay.
Scituate Community TV, same thing, search for that. That's also
I've
great.
just sent it.
Seth, number one with a
Oh,
vengeance.
thank you.
Number
Thank you,
one
Seth.
with a vengeance. Thank you, Seth. And if you all don't watch his program Scituate Weekly, you absolutely should, starting with, I think it's episode 77 that Corey stars in.
That is
Seth,
correct.
that
Yes. Corey Miles has been a guest.
Beyonce hair. Love, love, love. You have to check it out. Now that's on YouTube. Scituate Weekly on YouTube.
Okay. On YouTube.
Oh shoot, I forgot this was being recorded. I just did the Beyonce hair. Of my own volition. Oh well.
Nothing wrong with a little fun.
And talking about fun is our next exciting item up for bids. Anything else on the beach grass planting? Cool, awesome. Oh, there is. It's a good thing I make notes. The most probably exciting outcome of the beach grass planting, it was already funded from the Beach Sticker Revolving Fund. Nick Lombardo from Recreation called me this week and said, hey, Mara says we're gonna pay for that, because Jim Bedreau had issued a purchase order. I thought it was all set. I said, okay, great, here's the estimate. And so we already tapped into the Beach Sticker Revolving Fund, so that's great. Hopefully we'll do it again with Karen's guidance. So next, Peggotty Beach fencing. There is no update currently unless someone else has one, but I do think we may have a new secret weapon for that, that amenity. So anybody, anything on that before we move on? Okay.
Just a comment that the fencing that was in place for the plantings was really well done. So if it's the residents, I think it was Jeff saying like he actually puts it in place and does it. I mean, it passed the test of my 2-year-old trying to climb on it. So it was really well placed. I thought better than I've seen actually in previous years.
Okay, to their credit, it is well established and it is well maintained. But one thing that I hope we'll be able to do is follow Corey's vision for a plan to rework the fencing to make it even better at erosion control. And for that, we would like to include the DPW.
Yeah.
You know, as Jeff said, we'll need a bobcat and stuff, and it'll need to be permitted. And I don't want it just to be the neighbor's project.
Yeah,
you know?
agreed. I was surprised though, because I feel like usually when we're down there, it doesn't look so stable. I was surprised how stable it was actually when we were down there for the plantings.
Well, if it gets dislodged over the winter during a storm or something, maybe we can use that as a way to reorient, at least in the front part, into the zigzag formation.
Mhm.
It's better at trapping windblown sand and helping to build the dune.
Definitely. Cool. All right. Anything more on the fencing? Okay. The Beach Association outreach. Our idea for a beach mixer. Our original concept was to try to partner with Untold Brewing to host it in the tap room. And unfortunately, with their Hingham opening, they've been too busy to really communicate much about it. And that's perfectly understandable. And there's all the success in the world with that. So I reached out to some others. I asked Linda Ferguson if we might be able to use the basement at the inn at Scituate Harbor. And she said that we could, and it would be a cost of $400. I asked the Scituate Business Association about using their clubhouse, and that would be a cost of $1,200.
Which one was this? I'm sorry.
Scituate Beach Association.
Oh, okay, sorry, thank you.
They also said in return, what is the Scituate Beach Commission? They had no idea we existed, so that was awesome.
Why don't we do it at the Harbor building, the Harbor Community Building?
Yeah, isn't that one free, the Maritime Center?
No. You weren't here the last time. The Maritime Center unfortunately is closing for the season and is booked until then. The
Oh,
good
okay.
news is that is only $100 for, and maybe we'd get it for
Well, I
free.
meant the Pier 44 building.
Yes. No, I know. Are we able to have alcohol there? Yeah. See, that would be like a
don't know.
town thing, and that would be a whole different enchilada. That's, we'd need a caterer with a license.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about last time, like bringing the
That's
resources in makes it a little more challenging.
No.
I know we were talking about doing it in
I'm so sorry.
November.
I haven't said all the options yet. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
There's still a lot more. So I talked to Mark Lancy about using the Beach Sticker Revolving Fund for refreshments, and she referred me to Nancy Holt. She said that would be her domain. And Nancy extended us a budget of $100 for the event. So I was downtown. Do you know the shop Goodies in the harbor? Well, the owner,
Is it the resale, like the antiques type place? Is that it?
exactly. The owner kindly extended her hospitality to our group and would be fine with us having it there. She closes at 5 o'clock. And if we wanted, we could have it there. And because she's the private owner of the building, and it would be a private by invitation only party and not actually a town function, we could have alcohol. So that seemed cool to me. And then I thought, we've got the $100. I approached board 143. I haven't gotten an answer yet about what it would cost there to do something, what we could do for $100, really basically. Another option is Nancy said there's an account at Village Market. We can get food at Village Market. We can put it together ourselves. We could all bring something, etc. For instance, I thought if we could each bring a bottle or two of wine, that would probably be enough to give everyone, a little drink. I don't have any idea how many people to anticipate. I haven't started inviting because we haven't firmed it up, but that's what I have, and I am open to your thoughts. Anyone?
So I guess because I wasn't at the last meeting, so I don't know entirely. I did read the notes, but so is the concept of this to get together all the different beach associations, right?
Yes.
Okay.
To invite
Just want to
everybody-
make sure I understand. Yeah.
to
Just kind of
invite
get
everybody-
everybody that's coastal and wants to be involved coastally connected, right?
No, I don't think we can involve everybody. Like, it would be really nice if we could invite a lot of different constituencies, But just to get started, limit it to people from the beach associations. And it's simply to reach out and introduce ourselves to some of them by the
So
sounds
would
of
it would be the
And
board
to-
members?
It would be everyone in the associations with the expectation that only a few would be interested. I can't imagine everybody saying, yeah, this is the place I want to be. But it's to, introduce ourselves and gender conversations about resources, plans, how we can work together, support each other, that type of thing. There was another little hindrance. SBA said, oh, well, we're not really about the beaches. We're more like a clubhouse, neighborhood clubhouse. And that is my expectation about all of them, that that's what they are doing. But everyone I talk to in the way of the select board, et cetera, they, keep saying this is a great idea, this outreach, yes, let's, get people talking and working together. So it seems just like a kind of fun, casual thing to do. And 4 weeks ago, it seemed like a lot more manageable. We're now less than 2 weeks until that date. But I think
That
it's
was gonna be my comment, Kelly. That was gonna be my comment. Just taking a step back, it feels maybe like we'd be trying to throw something together at this point to make it work. And I worry a little bit that without having done any outreach and invitation and like calendar holds for people who might be interested, our turnout might be even less to try to pull this together in less than 2 weeks. Is there opportunity to push it to after the holiday? I mean, I think the early part of the winter, I feel like people are looking for things to do. The January, February, March timeframe might be, the post-holiday, people get really busy this time of year. Is there a downside other than delaying to pushing it to January to give ourselves some more time to organize?
Well, who we would lose is the snowbirds. And I have a feeling that a
Okay.
lot of these beach association folks might be snowbirds, because I've thought about what you're saying. And that's the only real reservation I have. So,
I mean, I do know Terry from the Hummerock, the South Hummerock Civic Association isn't around until December even. So like, not that she would be the only person, but like thinking about that too, I feel like we might be already losing people.
all right. Well, Connor is still in favor of it. I know that, and was willing to kick in whatever was needed. Just to give you one other person's perspective.
I'm out of town. Like I'm gone the entire week of Thanksgiving. So I wouldn't be able to
Oh.
participate except for
Oh.
maybe helping with some planning stuff up front or helping to like purchase some things. I wouldn't physically be here. We always go to the Midwest to see family for Thanksgiving. We're leaving Friday. We're gone for over a week.
All right, that officially
Yeah.
postpones it.
Yeah,
I
that's
want
what I
everybody
worry
to be
about a little
involved.
bit
That's
too.
there's
Others.
no way I don't want everyone involved. So postponed. Moby mats, mutt mitts, trash cans. I had an interesting encounter at Joy today, and the person's main request was for trash cans at Museum Beach, and I agree, that's good. Anybody else have anything going on with Moby mats, mutt mitts, trash cans? Or your beach in general being cleaned up for the season, etc.
Well, I guess I just was kind of curious, and I know the DPW clears away most of the trash cans, but I still don't quite understand their logic on clearing them away so completely. And I don't know if you guys feel this or not, but I know at mine it feels like it goes from, very accessible to like 2 for a mile. You know what I mean? Have we ever gotten any sort of real perspective on that from them or reasoning on that? Or is it just they don't feel like they need them because the summer months is when it fills up?
That is their reasoning, that they're not
Yeah.
used as much as in the summer months. So yeah, that's definitely it. Where are they currently located at Minot?
For the winter time, I'll have to double check. I haven't really walked down there much with the construction going on. It just wasn't a place that seems like I should be hanging out. When an excavator's working. They normally keep them at Gannett. That entrance And then they keep them at the entrance to Wells Rock, which would be like from the parking lot entrance. So that's normally where they keep one at each spot over the winter. I believe the ones in each parking lot, pretty sure those are gone. The ones that are at the top of each stairway over the winter, those I'm 99% sure are gone. I just haven't driven down there much because it's, they had it all one way, and it was just kind of, I always felt like I was in their way when I would drive by the last few weeks. But I'm glad to hear that they're almost done. You can tell that they're almost done, but glad to hear they're almost done. That's what we see. I mean, it's probably 10% of what it is in the summer.
How about this then? Do you want to check and let us know at the December meeting?
I can check.
What
Yeah.
the positions are and what's needed? Awesome.
How many did Peggotty have? Do you recall? I mean, we were all just there and I didn't even look.
I think
No.
only
There
one.
was
No.
one, yeah.
Wait, where is it? Where is
I was
that?
saying for Peggotty.
Yes, but Kate said there is one and I had.
There was one right at the entry, right at the left of the entry. There's just one blue trash can where they normally are, where the recycling used to be. There's one blue trash
Okay.
can.
All right, because in the summer they're on the other side by the pond.
Mhm. Yeah,
But so
there's
that's the
just-
handicap parking spaces there, right?
Yeah, it's on the if you're looking
It's
at the
by the
handicap
Ballards.
spaces, it's to the right, before where the Moby mat would start.
Yeah,
Okay.
where the Ballards, there's the Ballards to keep, because the porta potties were in that area too.
Yes. And Humrock is the same. They're down to one at entry and one at the parking lot where the basketball court is.
All right, anything else on that?
Just one comment on the mutt mitts, Kelly, you and I talked about this on Friday, but at Humrock, it looks like the residents are stocking it themselves with grocery bags, which
Yeah.
to me is indicative of the fact that it's usually empty.
Yes, I know. It's a recurring problem, but like I said, that secret weapon I mentioned earlier, I think we're gonna maybe get to resolve some of these things.
Okay, perfect.
And that's top of the list. It's very disheartening that all of these things are installed in town, in the
Mhm.
line of vision, right? Creating more clutter at the entrances, and yet they're empty. And if the issue really is that, of course, the issue really is that we need keys. We need keys. We need to make keys. So we'll get to it. We really will. We're gonna get that fixed. So, other ideas, thoughts, comments? Cool. On the cleanup stations, no update, and we don't really need to keep that on the thing because there won't be any until they're installed in May. So we can take that off the agenda. Signage. All right, so as you know, the select board's comment about the signage was that the design is disjointed with the current signage seen in town. And we are to match the Harbor Walk signs and the Scituate signage and the town pier sign. So that in itself is a little bit disjointed, but I brought that back to the designer and he decided that he did not want to continue with the project. And so I have, started working with a new designer and hopefully we'll have something in the next couple weeks for everybody to look at. That will be in keeping with at least one of those current branding elements used in town. Also, the CPC application, I'll be attending their meeting next week in support of that. Hopefully we'll get some funding. Yay.
I'm just kind of curious though, do you think they'll fund it if we don't know for sure what our cost is gonna be? You know what I mean?
Sure, absolutely, because it says pending approval.
Yeah.
And if it isn't what's scoped and not to their liking, they won't give us the money,
Or they might just say, wait and come back, like decline it with the instruction to come back when we have the cost. I have seen them do that, say they really like something and then give them instructions for what they want to see specifically to approve it.
Right.
Okay. That's interesting because I'm visualizing the Scituate and I'm not visualizing the others, but I don't recall them looking that much alike.
No, they don't. That was my underlying comment.
Yeah,
The
okay.
instruction itself was a little bit disjointed. The Harbor Walk sign is, this shape. And it's got a little bit of lighthouse at the top. It's got a banner saying Harbor Walk, and then it explains whatever the topic is. The Scituate is typically white with navy blue lettering, and the dinghy and lighthouse. I'm not sure that's a dinghy, but the little boat and the lighthouse. And the third thing, the signage. Any other questions or comments about the signage underway? Okay. Sunrise Beach sticker, we will not have an update right now. Connor hopefully will be with us next time for that, which brings us to bike racks and Miss Andrea Ramsey.
Honestly, I don't have any update on it. I had a sick kid every week. This is the first week I haven't had one home, so I haven't made any
Me too.
forward progress. I guess one thing though is that I've been kind of thinking about, not related to it, because I know we talked about possibly using memorial funds, is I don't know if we do want to have something that's consistent, because we talked about trying to have a consistent design, then maybe having the vocational school do it isn't the right pathway. Maybe we just pick out something else, like a commercially made bike rack, and have that done. That might be, the better way to do it. Because if we do this vocational school, that I don't know. I don't know if it would be, we spend a lot of materials, but we save on labor. But I do think that I didn't get a response back from the teacher when I went back to him and asked about, how would you feel about trying to have a design that's more uniform? I didn't get a response back. So I can reach out to him again and just ask about that. I did get the impression that he kind of liked the idea of having it be a unique thing for the kids to do at each beach location, as opposed to trying to make it a more of a, here's the thing that you're going to do 5 times or something.
What else? They're probably not set up for the machines that would be needed for such construction, like identical.
Yeah,
That's probably.
I'm going to guess that they're hand welding it,
Mhm.
but I don't
Yeah,
know for sure. I haven't been over there. Just thinking back to my shop classes, because in Indiana we had shop classes.
Too.
And so like that was a big thing at my high school. So yeah, they probably are hand making everything. And so they may not want, the fact that it would look different for each one, their learning curve would be disguised a little bit more, if it's not as clean of a weld or something. But so that was just one thing I had been thinking about. I will reach back out to him and see if they're willing to do a more uniform thing. The other concern I'd had was for Peggotty, the design that they had said was quite large. And I don't know if anyone has an opportunity or time to actually walk down with me for where a potential location could go.
I want to anyway, for all kinds of reasons. I would love to, and we could.
Yeah, that'd be good, because I know I reached out to conservation, and her whole thing is she just wants a diagram saying this is exactly where it's going to go. She doesn't want to meet or talk about it. She just wants to know, this is where you want it, yes or no.
Sure.
That was the impression I got, and it took a lot to get that response. So
I know conservation is very
she's swamped, so she doesn't have time for someone who doesn't know what they're doing, like me.
No worries. Andrea, what if we were to go back to them and say instead that we want them to all be individual? Because I've thought more about it, and I don't know how everybody else felt, but I could be, persuaded to do individual designs. And also, I reached out to Karen Connolly about the memorial program and how to bring it back and include these, and I haven't heard from her yet, but I did at least get started.
When I talked with Lorraine about it initially, she thought it was a fabulous idea. And really, it was just a matter of, once we had the cost, then we just needed to come forward with a proposal to the select board and say, this is the cost, this will be how it's going to be done. Really just a concrete pad for it would be something we'd have to do outside of the school. But I already talked to a couple of contractors and was getting them to commit to do it just as like for free, just to do it. Because it's not a big deal, and it looks nice for them to have done this thing for the town. So I think we could get that donated, no problem. The thing is, for Peggotty, there's a lot of real estate, weirdly, because of the way the lines are drawn. But I don't know how much real estate we want to take up with it, because they had that octopus design. For mine, the design that they had was linear. The best place for it, honestly, though, is at Gannett or Gannett. And that's where I'd want to walk down with you, Kelly, and maybe someone from DPW, because right now at Gannett, there's 2 handicap parking spots and then just a big crosshatch in the middle where they will take machines in and out. And I don't want to make it so that there's no handicap parking, but if we could squeeze a bike rack in there by that handicap parking, because they're a bit oversized, if that makes sense. I'm just wondering if there's a way to kind of reconfigure it a little bit to fit it in, if that makes sense. Or maybe it goes up on the sidewalk area, because there is where you were like kind of looking for the sign to go. There's a little bit of space there that maybe something could go, but it's, as you know, down by Wells Rock, that access way is tight. There's nowhere to put it. So you're basically putting it in the parking lot or maybe in Gordon Park. That's right there, that the Beach Association upkeeps. But Gannett to me is where you see a lot of kids come flying down on their bikes and then they kind of access the beach there, or maybe they go down to the next stairway. So those are kind of, to me, the 2 spots that could probably use it the most, because that's where you see, I think, bigger kids driving down. Like the other stairwells, you see everybody's wagon and like little kid bike and stuff parked at the top where we do it too. But that Gannett, I think, is where you get the kids that live further away biking in and then kind of plopping their stuff. So I think it could be more utilized there. And you have all kinds of biker stuff there too. Because there's all kinds of cyclists that like come down Gannett, do the loop, and then, you know, come back on Hatherley in their spandex attire. Some serious bikers around here, or cyclists. I don't know what they go by. So that was something that I've been thinking about too. So yeah, Kelly, if you get some time, I'd really like to meet and look at that. And I think it would probably need a little DPW look too, to see.
Angie, I was just going to say this. What I would love is if you and I can do the Mine at Beach walk that like I did with Kate and Hummerock. But also if you and I can meet with someone from the DPW and look at all the beaches and where you plan to put the bike racks. And if we don't have time to do it in one day, we could do it, you know, a couple days, but to actually go take photos of the site, and then I can put it on Google Maps, you know, images, just like we did for the other presentations.
Yeah.
And then send that to Amy Walkie initially.
Yeah. I just was wanting to try to get Sean or Jeff or one of those guys, because like I said, the handicap parking lots, I mean, there's obviously things that have to go along with that, but the way that the space is allocated, there's definitely some room to readjust. I'm just not entirely sure what they'd want to give up or what could be given up. I haven't looked up the ADA regulations, but
Do you know off the top of your head if you have a good time before you go away for Thanksgiving? It's way colder to go to the beaches.
I'll email you separately. How about that?
Okay, yeah.
But I'll look at a calendar. I think I should have some time next week if that would work.
Cool. And then I'll try to arrange with the DPW for us to all meet there at that time. That would be fantastic. Love it. Thank you for your work on this and persisting.
Yeah, sorry. Like I said, no real progress right now. Can't get much
Even
done.
thinking about it is part of the deal. So thank you for continuing, truly. I think it will be really cool. And we just have to keep figuring out ways to make it work.
I missed the sort of beginning part of this whole conversation, like prior to my joining the commission, but the pictures you sent of the individual racks are really cool and quite unique, actually. So for what it's worth, I'm in favor of not just having sort of standard bike racks. I thought the sort of art component of what you sent was really cool. I think that would be appreciated.
Yeah, I liked the fact that the kids were having the opportunity to put some thought in for each setting and placement. We could also, if we didn't want to go the memorial route for, you know, these particular ones, or if we wanted to try to forge ahead with one and then go the memorial route for a subsequent one, you know, I know of private funding that we could easily get if we wanted to go that route, like outside of the memorial program. So.
Oh, we do then. We like easy. What's that?
Okay.
Tell us
But we could
more.
definitely, I think the memorial program could be a really good way if we want to try to do like Hummerock, you know, subsequent, because then we could work with the school and say, all right, let's start with these 2. And then next school year, you'll have a different group of kids. And, you know, we could probably come up with a base cost that would cover it, just based on what their material labor spend this year. if that makes sense. And then they transport it. They do the transport and they do the install, and they have a truck that can transport. So you don't have to worry about like shipping or anything. Are you signing off, Corey?
Bye, Corey.
Bye, Corey. Thank you.
Yep, gotta feed the kids.
Thanks for
Chick-fil-A was my
being here.
answer to that tonight.
Andrea, I would like to know more about the private funding, because what I have been thinking is CPC funding. We're going to have the Moby mats we need in place, and hopefully we're going to get the signage approved. What are we going to apply for the next round of funding? I think it should be the bike racks, right?
That's a good
even
idea
if they
too. I hadn't thought
cost-
about that.
Even if they cost, let's say, $5,000 each, and there's 6 beaches, and that's $30,000. Well, let's see, stack that against the $990,000 for the Lawson Athletic Field that they approved. Okay, that's an easy ask to my way of thinking. And what we're doing is mitigating the parking situation at the beaches, in addition to providing a healthy outlet for folks. There's all kinds of reasons to justify this. So if you have something cool, but otherwise, I'm thinking next spring we ask them for that money.
Okay, well, let's walk it down. Let's figure out where it can go first and then kind of go from there for sure. That's a good idea though. I hadn't really thought about the CPC funds. That's, yep.
I just think we should keep right in their rounds of funding, because we're asking for very small amounts that are for very good causes. So, and they say infrastructure. Well, I feel bike racks are infrastructure, and they support infrastructure in mitigating the parking situation to some degree. So, hi, Chris. Does anybody know Chris? Okay, we'll be coming to public business in just a minute, so we'll ask for that then. Anything else on the bike racks, Andrea?
Nope, that's it.
All right, looking forward to more soon. Floating wheelchairs, no update because Richard's working on that. QR sticker proposal, no update because Connor's working on that. The amenity enhancement worksheet, I am happy to say, is formulated into an amenity enhancement plan that I will be sharing with you as soon as possible. Right now, Miss Kate is finishing up the Hummerock entry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then everybody will have it for review, and hopefully within the year, we'll be able to present it to the select board. That would be the ideal.
Oh, there was an update from Richard. Sorry, I had to find it in my email. He
Okay.
said that the Disabilities Commission, who actually had a meeting tonight,
Mhm.
does have a small budget of $5,000, which they get for handicap parking violation funds. And they could potentially use that to buy items such as a floating wheelchair.
Nice.
So that was,
Yeah.
yeah, that was the update from Richard. Sorry, I had to find it in my inbox.
That's awesome. They're one of the 3 that bought the initial chairs.
Okay, that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it was them, a Trusco, and then the rec department got a grant for the 3rd one. So that's great. That is really great.
Do you
And
happen to
also
know,
just a
is 5,000 enough? I don't, like, I have no idea how much these cost.
they're all different models. I've seen some for 2,500 actually. I think that we should
Uh-huh.
get the nicest model possible. And I also want to let you all know as a resource in case you know anyone that could use it. There's also a Trek chair for the woods that's stored at the library that you can check out and use if you have a truck for a friend that needs, mobility of that kind. And we should tell people about the floating wheelchairs. I, like I said, was talking with the owner of Goodies, and she was telling me about Hilton Head, how awesome it was in the floating chairs. And I said, wait, Sandy, do you know we have them here? She had no idea. So we really need to promote that resource a lot more.
Think about that.
Okay, so thank you so much for that update, Andrea. And anything else for the floating wheelchairs right now? The QR sticker proposal, Connor has taken that under his wing, and so we'll need an update from him at our next meeting. Already said that. Okay, great. Bathroom amenities, no update, but a little story. As I said, I was talking to a beach user at Joy earlier, and she said, among her other things, she'd love to have bathroom facilities at the beach. I said, oh, great, because listen, we're trying to work on that. Here's what we're doing. I showed her. She said, oh, no, we shouldn't have any more buildings in Scituate because they get vandalized and they aren't maintained. I just want a giant, real bathroom that's brought in on a truck and then taken out and cleaned and brought back, and cleaned and brought back, and taken away again at the end of the season. So, all right, duly noted.
That is interesting. I have seen those. In fact, funny enough, I saw one on a beach in Bermuda for one of the resorts after the hurricane when they couldn't
Right.
use their actual facilities and moved everyone to another beach. They brought in exactly what you were talking about.
That makes sense in Bermuda where the tourism dollars are
Exactly.
never ending.
And actually fund it. Yeah,
Beach amenities.
exactly.
Anything else on those?
You know, that's just really sad because I don't associate Scituate with vandalism
Me neither.
or that sort of thing. And other communities do have restrooms and they do manage to stay reasonably okay.
Yes. Yes. Yep. I think that we would be okay. But I did want to give you that
Like
feedback.
a
from
lot of public
constituents.
parks have restrooms. We've used them on road trips
Yeah.
when we stop at for a
Yeah.
playground so our kids can run around on driving out to Indiana each year.
I think the key is just having a commitment of a schedule for sort of the cleaning and maintenance, right? As long as that is maintained, then I can't imagine it would be too big of a challenge. The vandalism does surprise me. I'm surprised to hear that.
I think that it would be nice if we could influence the job description for the lifeguards. And number one, they would be charged with sand removal from the Moby mats with a broom, not a blower, as someone from the DPW suggested might be cool, but a broom. An
They were
old-fashioned
using
broom
blowers?
Called a broom. No, they don't use anything right now.
Oh,
And it was buried to the point the DPW almost couldn't remove it at Peggotty. And so it needs to be addressed. And he suggested a blower. I said, how about a broom? So something in that line would be cool. And as for the bathroom maintenance, I worked at Barnes & Noble in Braintree for a long time, and I cleaned the bathroom most nights as part of my charges, you know? So these kids are being paid pretty handsomely for a nice cush job, frankly, if I may say that publicly. Maybe we could incorporate that in their job description.
how do I know this is way off topic, but we were just kind of curious how they even decide how many lifeguards are at each beach. Cause like at Minot, at the Wells Rock location, there's 4 lifeguards and it's a really, really small swimming area. I was just surprised to see that many. I didn't know if that was, I wasn't sure how that I was determined the number.
I will ask recreation. That's a really good.
Yeah,
question.
I'm not saying that it's, I don't want to criticize without knowing the justification, but I am curious. It
No.
seemed on the surface, it seems like more than possibly needed, I guess.
My guess, I have no idea, but just, thinking logically about it, my guess is they're probably estimating population of beachgoers and they are probably required to have so many lifeguards per people, right?
For
But
people, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah, that
it might
could
be
be. I don't
population
know.
based, not like square footage based, but that's a total guess.
Maybe that associations with the number of parking spaces. Because think about the number of spaces at Minot
Mm,
when you involve both parking lots.
How did they decide for Peggotty?
right.
They should have
Only
even
the
more
drawn
lifeguards,
lines.
even more, even more lifeguards at Peggotty based on that strategy. All right, so anything else on that? Scheduling the next meeting, that'll be Wednesday, December 14th at 6 p.m. via Zoom. And as I mentioned, Seth will be eliminating the re-login issue and giving us a link that will work for all meetings going forward. And we're very grateful for that. Thank you, Seth.
I just wanted to ask, because Katie, you're new to the commission, and does the second Wednesday of the month still work for everybody? Is that something that we might want to revisit in January and just double check that that's a good schedule for everyone?
Thank you for asking. The Wednesday is totally fine. Actually preferable because my husband plays the like over 35 basketball on Tuesday and Thursday. So I'm on kid duty all night. But the time, if it were a little later, might be better. Because we swap like pickups and stuff, but I can make 6 work. It sort of just a preference thing. But yeah, Wednesday, the second Wednesday works for me.
How about this, Kate? If it becomes an issue, just let us know.
Sure.
And
will
that's
do.
the same for anyone, obviously, if meetings become difficult for any reason.
Yep, will do.
always let us know. Oh, one more thing. I talked with Deborah Ceccarini. I had let her know about the beach grass planting, and she had a prior commitment, but she was thrilled to see the video and wishes us all well. I heard from Mara Curran. She said, great job, everyone. Thank you for your, your dedication, your efforts. Tony, great job. And they also mentioned it at the select board meeting last night. I believe it was in Jim Bedrow's report at the
Okay.
beginning and Tony's at the end. I haven't watched the beginning yet, but
It was in the town weekly updates on Monday. They had a nice paragraph about it. I always read those.
Me
I'm
too.
not good at getting the select board updates, but I always read the weekly update.
I'm super glad you liked it because Karen picked up the text that I had sent them and dropped it in. So
Oh, awesome.
thank you.
That's great.
Any other business that could reasonably come before the beach commission? Seeing none, I will call the meeting to a close. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Dahlstrom. Roll call vote. Ms. Ramsey,
Aye, or yes.
Ms. Dahlstrom,
Yes.
Ms. Bauer, yes. All in favor. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you all for being here very much for all
Thank
your
you, Kelly.
Thank you.